Digital Designer Designation, the podcast.
Hey there. You've been sending over some fascinating material on digital transformation. Articles, research, even a historical timeline.
Wow, yeah.
It's clear you're ready to go deep on this, and we're here to help you navigate it.
It's definitely more than just a buzzword. It's a profound shift. And by, understanding its journey, we can better grasp its future implications. That's what makes this deep dive so compelling.
Right. And you've included this great definition of digital transformation.
Yeah.
It really highlights how it's not just about adding tech,
Right.
but about using it to fundamentally reimagine how business gets done.
Yeah, it's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Instead of just automating existing processes, it's about rethinking them entirely. Yeah. Imagine a world where instead of just ordering groceries online, your refrigerator automatically orders them for you based on your consumption patterns and predicted needs. That's the kind of revolution we're talking about.
Wow, that would definitely simplify grocery shopping.
Right.
Now, your research points to three core elements of this transformation: technology integration, cultural change, and customer-centric approaches. Let's break those down, starting with technology. We see you've got AI, IoT, big data, all the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, but it's the integration that's truly revolutionary. Mm-hmm. For example, imagine a manufacturing plant where sensors and IoT devices constantly monitor production lines. AI algorithms analyze this real-time data to predict equipment failures before they happen, triggering automatic maintenance requests. That's the power of integrating these technologies.
That's incredible. It's like having a crystal ball for your factory.
Yes.
But what about the human side of things? You mentioned cultural change. That seems like a huge part of the equation.
It's essential and often the most challenging aspect. Think about how the pandemic forced companies to adopt remote work practically overnight. That required a massive cultural shift, pushing businesses to embrace digital tools and flexible work arrangements. Those who adapted quickly thrived, while those who clung to old ways struggled.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that digital transformation isn't just about technology, it's about people and how they adapt to these new ways of working. So how do customer-centric approaches fit into all of this?
Well, in today's hyper-competitive landscape, it's not enough to just meet customer needs. You have to anticipate and exceed them. That's where data becomes invaluable. By analyzing customer behavior, preferences, and feedback, businesses can create highly personalized experiences.
It's like when Netflix recommends shows based on your viewing history, but on a much larger scale. Speaking of history, you included this amazing timeline of digital transformation going all the way back to the 1970s. I had no idea it had such deep roots.
It's fascinating to see how far we've come. Back in the 70s, mainframe computers took up entire rooms and were primarily used by large corporations and government agencies. Now we carry more computing power in our pockets than those early machines could ever dream of.
It's mind-boggling when you think about it. Okay, so walk us through this timeline. What were some of the key milestones that got us to where we are today?
Well, after the mainframe era, the 1980s brought us personal computers, which democratized access to technology. This paved the way for the birth of the World Wide Web in the late 80s and early 90s, which, as you know, completely revolutionized how we communicate and access information.
Absolutely. Remember the days of dial-up internet and having to wait for images to load 1 pixel at a time?
Oh, I do.
It's amazing how quickly we went from that to streaming high-definition videos on our phones.
It is remarkable.
Yeah.
And this rapid evolution underscores why understanding the history of digital transformation is crucial. Mm-hmm. By recognizing the speed at which technology has advanced in the past, we can better anticipate and prepare for the changes that lie ahead. And that brings us to why digital transformation is so crucial in today's world.
You're right. This isn't just about keeping up with the Joneses anymore, is it? It's about survival.
Precisely. But it's not just about surviving disruption. It's about leveraging these advancements to thrive.
So we've established that digital transformation is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. But what are the specific benefits that make it so vital in today's landscape? Your research highlights enhanced customer experience, operational agility, and data-driven decision-making as key advantages. Let's start with customer experience. In a world saturated with choices, how can businesses truly stand out and connect with their customers?
It's about moving beyond a one-size-fits-all approach and creating experiences that are as unique as each customer. Think about, the personalized recommendations you get on Spotify or Netflix. They're driven by sophisticated algorithms that analyze your listening and viewing history to curate a customized experience just for you. That's the level of personalization that digital transformation enables. But it goes beyond entertainment. Imagine a healthcare provider that uses your medical history and lifestyle data to create a personalized treatment plan, or a bank that proactively alerts you to potential fraud based on your spending habits. These are just glimpses into the power of customer centricity in the digital age.
Those are some powerful examples. It's not just about convenience, it's about feeling understood and valued as a customer. What about operational agility? What does that look like in practice?
Think about a company like Amazon, which has mastered the art of agility. They've built their entire infrastructure on cloud computing and automation, allowing them to scale their operations rapidly to meet fluctuating demand, even during peak seasons like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They can also quickly pivot their product offerings based on real-time customer data, ensuring they're always ahead of the curve. This level of agility would be unimaginable without digital transformation.
It's incredible to think how they can handle such massive spikes in orders and still deliver a seamless customer experience. It really highlights the power of these technologies. Now, let's talk about data-driven decision-making. It's a term we hear a lot these days, but what does it really mean and why is it so important?
In the past, many business decisions were based on intuition or gut feelings. Today, we have access to vast amounts of data that can provide us with much deeper insights. For example, instead of relying on hunches about which marketing campaigns might be most effective, businesses can analyze customer data to identify the channels and messages that resonate most strongly with their target audience. This data-driven approach leads to more strategic, targeted, and ultimately more successful outcomes.
It's like the difference between throwing darts in the dark and using a laser pointer to hit your target. But how do businesses make sense of all this data? That's where business intelligence comes in, right?
Exactly. Business intelligence, or BI, provides the tools and methodologies to collect, analyze, and visualize data, transforming it into actionable insights. Think of it as the bridge between raw data and informed decision-making.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive deeper into this world of BI. You mentioned that it helps businesses understand their past performance, predict future trends, and make informed decisions. Can you break those down a bit further?
Absolutely. Let's start with understanding past performance. BI tools excel at gathering historical data from various sources, like sales records, marketing campaigns, and customer interactions. This data is then processed and analyzed to identify trends, patterns, and anomalies.
So it's like looking in the rearview mirror to see where you've been and how you got here, right? What kind of insights can businesses gain from this historical analysis?
They can gain a deeper understanding of their customers' purchasing habits, identify their most profitable products or services, and pinpoint areas where they might be losing customers or revenue. For example, an e-commerce company might use BI to discover that a high percentage of their shopping carts are abandoned at the checkout page. By analyzing the data, they might identify a usability issue with their checkout process that's causing customers to abandon their purchases.
That's a great example of how BI can uncover hidden problems and opportunities. It's like having a detective on hand to analyze the clues and solve the mystery of why things are happening the way they are. But BI isn't just about looking back, right? It's also about predicting the future. How does that work?
That's where predictive analytics comes in. By analyzing historical data and identifying patterns, BI tools can help businesses make educated predictions about future trends. For example, a retail chain might use BI to analyze past sales data, factoring in seasonality, promotions, and economic indicators to forecast future demand for specific products.
That's incredibly powerful. Instead of just reacting to what's already happened, businesses can anticipate what's coming and make proactive decisions. It's like having a glimpse into the future. So we're talking about using data to predict the future, which sounds like both amazing and a little intimidating. But you've also got some real-world examples of how this is being used, right? Companies seeing actual results from this kind of analysis.
Absolutely, and the impact can be huge.
Yeah.
Your research on the manufacturing industry is a perfect example. They're using BI to optimize supply chains, something that's been in the news a lot lately. Remember those long delays we were all facing?
Oh, yeah.
BI can help prevent that.
Oh, for sure. It felt like everything was back-ordered for months. How does BI tackle a problem like that?
Imagine a company that makes those super popular wireless headphones everyone's wearing these days. By using BI to analyze historical sales data, they can anticipate seasonal demand surges, like during the holidays, but it goes even deeper. By integrating data from their suppliers, they can identify potential bottlenecks or delays in the manufacturing process before they impact production.
So instead of scrambling to react when a shipment is delayed, they can proactively find alternate suppliers or adjust production schedules. That's some next-level planning. What about other industries? You mentioned financial services earlier. How's BI being used there?
It's revolutionizing how they combat fraud, which, let's face it, is a major concern for everyone in the digital age. Remember that time you got a fraud alert from your bank because you bought a plane ticket in a different state?
Oh, yeah.
That's a basic example of fraud detection. BI takes it to a whole new level.
Okay. So instead of just flagging unusual purchases, how does BI help?
Imagine systems that can analyze millions of transactions happening in real time, not just looking at the amount spent, but also factoring in your location, typical spending patterns, even the time of day you usually make purchases. By creating a comprehensive picture of your normal behavior, BI can pinpoint anomalies that might indicate fraudulent activity.
It's like having a digital detective working behind the scenes to protect you.
Right.
That's incredibly reassuring.
And incredibly effective. By spotting and stopping fraudulent transactions before they're even completed, DI can save businesses and consumers billions of dollars each year. It's a win-win.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that digital transformation is not just a tech trend, it's a fundamental shift in how we live, work, and do business.
And it's an ongoing journey, not a destination. What we've explored today is just the tip of the iceberg. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the possibilities for digital transformation.
That's what makes it so exciting. There's always something new to discover. So, for our listeners who've been on this deep dive with us, what's the key takeaway you'd want them to remember?
That digital transformation, at its core, is about harnessing the power of information. It's about using data to understand the past, navigate the present, and shape a better future.
Beautifully put. It's not just about bits and bytes. It's about using those bits and bytes to make smarter decisions, create better experiences, and ultimately improve our lives. Thanks for joining me on this fascinating deep dive.
My pleasure. Always a fascinating conversation.